Hi, it's Kerry here. Welcome to the AI Kerry Show, where I break down the hottest AI stories every weekday in plain English. So you can actually use what's happening in AI instead of just doom scrolling headlines. I'm not here to hype and I'm not here to panic. I'm here to translate what happened, why people are mad or excited, and what it means for your brand, your job, and the next 12 months of your life online. Let's start with the first topic, and it's the McDonald's story because it's the most small thing that reveals a big shift, with McDonald's dropping a Christmas-themed ad that was AI generated. And instead of landing as playful or festive, it triggered a wave of backlash. Not just because people suddenly discovered AI exists, but because audiences are being tired of what they see as low effort, copy paste, AI slop flooding their feeds. The reaction wasn't nuanced. It was basically, you're McDonald's. You have the budget, you have the creatives. Why does this feel like a first draft made at 2 a.m.? And that's the key. The anger isn't about AI, it's about effort. Customers can forgive weird, they can forgive experimental. What they are increasingly rejecting is the feeling that brands are using AI to save money while asking the audience to accept something that looks cheaper, flatter, and less human. That's the fatigue moment we're in. Not anti-tech, but anti-lazy. Here's the part that marketeers need to tattoo on their brain. AI content doesn't get judged against other AI content. It gets judged against the brand's best work. When a premium brand posts something that feels like a template, people don't say AI is improving fast. They say this brand is declining. The standard rises with your brand. So the strategic takeaway is not don't use AI, it's don't use AI in a way that signals you don't care. If you're going to use AI in a campaign, it needs a human concept on top. A story, a tension, a joke that actually has taste. Because right now, the internet is becoming a taste filter. And the moment audiences sense you are outsourcing taste, they punish you for it. Now, topic number 2 is a completely different flavor of story. Less emotional, more foundational. But honestly, this one could matter more long term. OpenAI, Anthropic, and Block have come together to form the Agentic AI Foundation, aimed at creating a shared standard for how AI agents communicate with each other and how they interact with tools and systems. Think of it like this: we are moving from chatbots that answer to agents that do. And the messy part of agents that do is interoperability. If my agent can book flights and it can run my CRM and a third agent can negotiate a supplier contract, they need a common language for permissions, identity actions, and handoffs. Without standards, it turns into early internet where everything is proprietary and nothing plugs in cleanly. The stated goal here is to avoid that fragmentation and make agent to agent collaboration safer, more consistent, and easier to audit. If you're not technical, here is why you should still care. Standards are power. Whoever sets the standard often sets the default rails that the whole world builds on. Which data is shared, what actions are allowed, what safe looks like, and who gets locked out. For businesses, this could be amazing because it reduces chaos. Fewer bespoke integrations, fewer brittle automations, faster deployment. But there is also a real risk. A unified standard can quietly become a gatekeeping layer where only certain platforms get first-class access. So the question to watch isn't will agents talk to each other? It's who controls the language they're allowed to speak. And if you're building anything right now, especially a SaaS product, this is the signal that this next competitive moat might be less about features and more about how well do I plug into the agent ecosystem that's for me. Now, the third topic is the one that screams, welcome to what I'm calling the execution era. Meta has acquired AI agent startup Manus, and AP reports that while Meta doesn't disclose the financial terms, the Wall Street Journal reported the deal at more than $2 billion US. Manus itself confirmed it's joining Meta and said it plans to continue operating subscriptions through its own app and website while scaling general purpose agents across Meta's consumer and business products. Here is why that matters. $2 billion isn't just a cute acquire. That's a statement that agents are not a side feature. They're a platform shift. The big fight is no longer only who has the smartest model. The fight is who owns execution, who owns the layer that turns intent into action across the internet, research, coding, purchasing, scheduling, customer support, internal ops. And when execution becomes the product, the whole economy reshuffles. Because once you have an agent that can do a task end to end, not suggest, not draft, not brainstorm, but actually complete the loop, then entire categories of work collapse from teams into a person supervising an agent. That's where the agent heists conversation comes in. Because the more agents can do, the more damage they can do if they're compromised. In an execution world, stealing an agent isn't just about stealing a chatbot. It is stealing a worker with access, its credentials, its permissions. It's the ability to move money, change records, spin up infrastructure, message customers, and look convincingly human while doing it. That's why today's biggest bottleneck isn't just about capability, it's trust, control, and monitoring. And it's also why Agentic AI Foundation story and the Meta Manus story connect. One is about building the highways, the other is about buying a fast car and getting it on the road before everyone else. Let's make this practical because you're watching the show to use the news. If you're a brand or creator, the McDonald's story Backlash is your warning label. AI is not a free pass to produce more. It's a tool to produce better, faster, but only if you keep taste, story, and editing standards human-led. If you are a founder or operator, the Agentic AI Foundation is your signal to start thinking in agent endpoints. What actions do you allow? What permissions exist? And how will you log and audit agent activity? And if you're anyone who touches coding, marketing, operations, admin, research, or customer success, the Meta Manus story is your reminder that AI can't really do it. It's really doing it. The question is, how do we redesign work so that humans supervise outcomes instead of manually pushing every button? And that's the vibe shift for today. Audiences are rejecting lazy AI content, while the biggest companies on the earth are quietly betting billions on AI, even trillions. That doesn't just talk, it executes. Every weekday on the AI Kerry show, we're going to go deep and start connecting the dots. And this era just won't be about people who know the most AI jargon. There will be the people who understand incentives, spot the turning points early, and build systems that move faster than the chaos.